And good evening, Savannah and the Low Country and the Coastal Empire, of course. Okay, Coastal Empire, Savannah, Georgia, Low Country. Just a little technical difficulty right there. So once again, good evening, Savannah and the Coastal Empire. And welcome to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Coach's Corner Sports Network. Okay, I'm doing tongue-tied here. Let's go live internet. Take 3. Good evening, Savannah and the Coastal Empire, and welcome to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, heard every Wednesday night right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network on the Soundgarden stage. I can't complain. I'm not going to sing. I'm just doing my show, and that's what I do every Wednesday night. Now, the other 2 shows that usually are before me jumped to Tuesday night because they had the OG, the producer, Lawrence Bennett, had an engagement to do today. So what's happening in the Soundgarden? Check it out on YouTube. John Henderson and Thomas Claxton, great job. Tells you what's coming up in the Soundgarden this weekend. They do a great job. And then that's usually 5:30, 5:45, and about 6 o'clock, 6:15. We got Rubbin' and Grubbin', the OG of the Coach's Corner Sports Network shows. Brandon Bain, the Atlanta man, and the OG himself, Lawrence Bennett, doing a great job talking all things NASCAR. Brandon Bain has a plethora of knowledge of NASCAR, so pretty special. But I'm here Wednesday night all by myself. Nobody here in the Soundgarden except me, myself, and I. Okay? But I got a great lineup for you, and that's where we go to the PowerPoint, okay? That's right. Go to the PowerPoint, talk about what's happening in the Soundgarden this weekend, talking about what's on my show. So let's start off with, all right, tonight's guest. Watch BC Sports, Benedictine football, Benedictine Sports. We're going to have the man himself. You all heard of him for about 9-10 years on ESPN Coastal, ESPN Savannah, and that's, of course, Kevin Thomas. He's the play-by-play announcer. I call him the Golden Vocal Cords. He's unbelievable. We're going to get his insight on BC football, doing BC football for over 3 years. Got himself two state championship rings. The old ball coach, I don't have any rings. Okay? Then we're going to go to and across we'll go down Victory Drive, get on 16, get to 95, go down to Richmond Hill, and we'll talk to the head ball coach from Richmond Hill High School, Matt Lezotte. That's right. He's the old ball coach now. He's been on it 10 years. I can't believe it. But he didn't make the Savannah schools or the Optimal Orthopedics Prep Sports Report 4th Annual Media Day. Go check it out on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. That's where you can find it. Great. All 13 teams were there. 12 teams were there. Richmond Hill cannot make it, so I had to get him on. I had to interview the old ball coach over there at Richmond Hill High School, Matt Lezotte. And then we'll round out the show with a good friend of mine, the voice of Georgia High School football. That's right. He is the voice of Georgia High School football. This man knows more about Georgia High School football from Rome, Georgia to Camden County, across to Bainbridge, across to Columbus, back to Savannah. You go up the coast to you go up the state borderline to Effingham. This guy's know what we're going to be talking to. GPB Football Friday co-host, also one cute sport guy, as his wife calls him, Jon Nelson. I'm excited about that. Now, what's special about tonight is that not every show is usually live. This show, all guests are pre-recorded because they have things to do. So I'll be here live. I'll be in and out in between the guests and telling you what's going on. So that's our guest. So as I say, let's take 3 steps in the door. Okay, Week 1 football starts tomorrow. That's right, tomorrow night, kickoff, 7 o'clock at Pooler Stadium, New Hampstead High School. We're one of the best quarterbacks in the state, maybe even in the country. Rashawn Truel, okay, and the New Hampstead Phoenix will be hosting Lauren Purvis and his South Effingham High School Mustangs. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock in Pooler. Go check it out. You know what? Because everything in Pooler is cooler. All right. Then Friday night, we got a big lineup. Okay. Liberty's at Bradwell. Rivalries? You want to talk about rivalries? You want to talk about Effingham, South Effingham? You want to talk about Calvary, Savannah Christian, Country Day, Savannah Christian? You want to talk about rivalries? Johnson, Jenkins. Okay. Well, no bigger one than Liberty County against Bradwell. New field, new turf over there at Ogilvie Field. Okay. Beach is at Calvary. MCA, McIntosh County Academy, comes in and takes on the Island Sharks at Island Stadium. Jenkins travels to Lowndes, to Wintersville. Well, that's Valdosta, but Lowndes is right there in Valdosta. Johnson, South Sea Johnson, travels out to the surprise team of last year, Bryan County, okay? Whitfield Academy comes in and takes on Savannah Christian at Pula. Now, what's special about this, the old defensive coordinator, boys basketball coach, who did a lot over there at Savannah Christian, got himself a head football job at Whitfield Academy. Robert Walsh, he'll be back taking on his good buddy, his former boss, okay, Baker Woodward. Should be a lot of fun. Country Day is going to Charlotte Country Day. That's a tough drive up there for the Hornets. Savannah High goes to Frederica Academy. St. Andrews goes out to Edmund and Memorial Day School opens up its 8-man football history at Citizens Christian. Still got one more to go. Saturday, don't forget Saturday, at the prettiest little stadium in the United States, as Irk Russell coined it, Paulson Stadium, home of your Georgia Southern Eagles. Rayburn Gap Nakuchi from North Carolina, state runner-up last year. I heard they got like 5 or 6 D1 players. Going to take on Benedictine. That's right, Benedictine out there at Georgia Southern University. Danny Britt's old stomping grounds, but Paulson Stadium wasn't like that when Danny Britt played there, so pretty exciting. So there's your games for this weekend. All right, now everybody, they said to me, Coach, what about volleyball and softball? Well, volleyball and softball has just started. Okay, there's no rankings. It's tough to get the news from everybody. Believe me, there's some typos in there. I do apologize. So I'll have news about girls' sports. I'll have news about cross country. It's not happening yet. Volleyball is just getting into the swing of it. They're into 2 weeks. Softball's into 2 weeks. So as soon as I start getting the news, I will have it up there. Just to let you know, you can nominate a standout volleyball player for the Donato's Pizza Player of the Week. Go to prepsportsreport.com. You could find it there. So pretty exciting, okay? Then softball, sponsored by, okay, John Carr himself, former Calvary Cavalier, John Carr, Seaport Real Estate. He sponsors the softball athlete of the week. Go to Prep Sports Report, find the link, nominate those players. Please, that's what I'd like you to do. All right. Step 2, we're going to college. Everybody's got to be excited about this. Saturday, 10 days as on a Saturday in Dublin, Georgia Tech is taking on Florida State. Now, that's Saturday, 12 noon in Dublin. Georgia Tech's taking on Florida State, okay? Georgia, who is, of course, the number 1 preseason team in college football again, they start on the 31st against Clemson, okay, a week after Florida State. Georgia Southern opens up the same week as Georgia. They host Boise State. It's pretty exciting. Boise State coming out here to play at Paulson Stadium. So that's our college news. Savannah State Open Camp. They'll start September 7th. Coach Kelton has a good group coming back, so we'll see with the Tigers. They just started camp yesterday. So Division II starts a week to 2 weeks after Division I. So we'll check that out. Savannah State University Tigers football. Okay, step 3. Let's go to the professional side. All right, we're going to go step 3 in the door. I don't know what you want me to tell you, people. The Braves are hurting. They're still in the wild card hunt. They dropped the 3rd. We get Michael Harris, the 2nd back out there in California. The Braves are still playing out on their West Coast trip. They got 2 more games left with the Giants. Then they go play the Angels. Then they come home for a homestand, which they open up against Philadelphia. There are only 6 games still back behind Philadelphia. It's not over. Like Yogi Berra says, my motto, it ain't over till it's over. But I know we're a little worried because things aren't going right like it has in the past years. Trades have come and gone. You just got to hang in there, people. You just got to hang in there, okay? So we did have a milestone. Charlie Morton achieved the significant milestone in his career by reaching 2,000 career strikeouts. He's the 17th active pitcher that has reached that. I think at 33, he had like 900. So in 6 years, he's got 1,100 strikeouts. Pretty impressive, okay? All right. Football started. The Falcons, okay? Preseason game. The second one will be Saturday against the Ravens. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's not noon. I got to find the correct time. Okay, at M&T Bank Stadium over there in Baltimore. Yes, we have injuries. Receiver Rondell Moore, outside linebacker Braylon Tries, safety DeMarco Helms are out with injuries affecting our depth chart. But you know what? It's preseason. And a lot of these times, most starters or first or second stringers don't play. So hopefully they'll be back. But the first regular season game, September 8th, against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Mercedes-Benz Stadium at 1 o'clock. All right, so that's the Falcons. Got to talk about golf, okay? Last weekend at the Wyndham, Brian Harmon, former Savannah Christian Raider, UGA alum, now pro golfer. Okay, he finished tied for 45th at the Wyndham. He was 5 under. This week he's at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. He's ranked 20th in the FedEx Cup, 15th overall. The top 70 players in points in the FedEx Cup standings makes it to the 70. The top 70 make it to the first round. Then it goes to 50, and then it goes to 30 for the championships. Okay, so Harmon should be in that again. We got to go to the older guys, the PGA Champions Tour. Tim O'Neill's moved up to 61st on the Schwab Cup points. Last week at the Boeing Classic, he tied for 33 at 2 under. But 36 golfers in the Champions Tour make it to the Charles Schwab Cup. So he's got a lot of work to do. Gene Sowers is down to 64th. Last week at the Boeing Classic, he had an even score, but he tied for 44th, okay? Still got more professional stuff for you. Okay, let's talk about who else? The Savannah Bananas. They'll play their next 3 games against the Party Animals at Harbor Park Stadium in Norfolk, Virginia. That's home of the Harbor Tides. That's the Baltimore Orioles triple minor league baseball team, AAA minor league baseball team. Used to be the Tidewater Tides for the Mets. Now they're with Baltimore. So that's what's happening with the Bananas. They'll be playing up in Norfolk, Virginia this weekend. Last week they were in Chicago. Last week they were in Cleveland against the Party Animals. Progressive Field, home of the Cleveland Indians or Guardians, whatever you want to call it. The Savannah Bananas played to a sold-out crowd. That's the 4th Major League sellout. They got 2 more to go. So the final score was the Bananas 3-1. When are they going to be back in Savannah? August 22nd, 24th, September 13th, 15th, and September 26th and 28th before they head to Miami. Tickets are sold out. So if you can get a ticket, you got a good deal. All right, step 3, we're still talking professional sports. We still got the Clovers and we still got the semi-pro Falcons. Okay, so if you're looking to play semi-pro football, go to the Savannah Semi-Pro Falcons Facebook page and check it out. Make sure you talk to Coach Eddie Cheese Morgan. Looking for players, looking for coaches. Check it out and see what's going on with that. Semi-pro team, that's the 3rd year they've been doing this. Savannah Clovers, 4-9-2. They haven't played since July 20th because of the weather. They're in 4th place. They'll be playing this Saturday, 5:30 at Memorial Stadium against the number 1 team in their conference, the Eastern Conference in the NISA, the Maryland Bobcats, who are 11-1-0. So $10 to get in. So you want to check out that at Memorial Stadium this weekend. All right, last slide. Okay, and from what I understand, I got to go to my Facebook page. I got to go to Coach's Corner Facebook page because from what I understand, the Sound Garden will be open Friday night, okay? Let me go to Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner. Okay, just bear with me. Let's trying to get to the events page. All right, why are we going to the main page here? There we go. Okay, so they just added this Friday, okay, they just added a Woodstock reunion show. This Friday, August 16th, it'll feature the Charlie Fogg Band and the Perry Brothers. 7 to 10, $10 at the door. It's supposed to be really, really good show. It was added, so I don't have it on my PowerPoint. Make sure you check it out. This Friday, we'll have music in the Sound Garden. Besides that, the 2 groups that we're going to have in the Sound Garden, well, this weekend in the Sound Garden, Okay, just lost my notes on the Soundgarden. There we go. August 17th, this Saturday, we have Freebird. You know anything about Freebird? It's not a classic country rock group. It's the ultimate Leonard Skinner tribute experience, okay? Join the fans for a weekend of music in the Soundgarden. Go to Eventbrite, get your tickets, 7 o'clock start. Freebird, okay? Then next Saturday, we got Pandora's Box, which is the ultimate Aerosmith tribute band. So check that out, 7 p.m., tickets on Eventbrite. So that's what all the news and notes I got for you. Trying to get out of here now. So let me bring myself back on. There we go. So I'm back on, a little slower than normal. Try not to make too many mistakes, but I did again. But that's normal for me. But next up, we're going to talk a little Benedictine football with the man himself. Okay, he's got the golden vocal cords. He's been doing high school football for I don't know how long. Great play-by-play announcer, knows his stuff. And now he's just concentrating on Benedictine football. Does a great job. And it's all on watchbcsports.com. The man himself, Kevin Thomas. I'll be back in 3 minutes. Got to thank my sponsors. Up next, talking cadet football with Kevin Thomas on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. Hey, sports fans, looking for the ultimate sports and entertainment destination in Savannah, Georgia? Look no further than Coach's Corner. At Coach's Corner, you'll find everything you need for a great time, including TVs everywhere, so you can catch all the latest sporting events, an outdoor seating area, perfect for enjoying a drink or a meal on a warm day, a wide array of drink options from beers to cocktails, a comprehensive sports schedule so you can cheer on your favorite teams year-round, prompt service even when it's crowded, a fun and lively atmosphere perfect for letting loose with your friends, and of course, delicious food, from famous chicken wings, hamburgers to delectable calzones and pizzas. Coach's Corner menu is sure to satisfy your cravings. In addition to all this, Coach's Corner also features an upgraded sound garden. Now, more seats, more bars, and an upgraded sound system. It's the perfect spot for hundreds of fans to gather and enjoy the latest local bands, tribute acts, and rising stars. So what are you waiting for? Join us at Coach's Corner for the ultimate sports, music, and culinary experience. Coach's Corner can't wait to see you soon. Remember, Coach's Corner is located at 3016 Victory Drive, right in Thunderbolt, Georgia, and on the World Wide Web at coaches.net. Remember, Coach's Corner, where every day is game day.
Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary Day School, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ at Calvary Day School. We would consider it a privilege to meet with you and your family personally. Call Alicia Bain, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299. Yo, you still want some real New York Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road, Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., serving breakfast and lunch right here in Savannah, Georgia. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering has been serving the public for over 3 years. Now, if you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered to your door, go online to SavannahTakeout.com or DoorDash.com, or just pick up the phone and call 912-354-2914. That's right, 912-354-2914. Kabish, and remember, we ain't New York style, we are New York at Rocky's New York Deli and
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time, it makes you mad, the pain drives you crazy, you just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can. At the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And welcome back to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. Sorry, something's going on here. There we go. I'm not doing very well today. But anyway, welcome back to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here at Coach's Corner on the Soundgarden stage, because it's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. I know, tough time tonight, but I'm doing fine. You got a comment, give me a comment in the comment box. We can talk about it. And what better way than to start this off than talk about BC football starting Saturday, 6 p.m., Georgia Southern University against Raybon out of North Carolina. And we're going to be talking to the play-by-play man of the WatchBCSports.com team that calls every single BC's game. He's back, his cohort color analyst, Christian Gokel. But this guy, I've been doing high school football games with him for a long time. And I think we started way back in 2013. It was always a lot of fun. I got to do it with him for 6 or 7 years. And he knows his stuff. He's energetic. He loves high school sports. He also calls baseball games for 912 Sports. He does basketball games. So he's still heavily involved. Used to be the general manager of ESPN Savannah, ESPN Coastal, but a near and dear friend of mine is Kevin Thomas. He's been in the business for over 25 years. So let's take it right now to him. He couldn't make it tonight, so we pre-recorded. We're going to be talking to the man himself, the golden vocal cords of Watch BC Sports, Kevin Thomas. And welcome back to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. And like I say, I love doing the show live, but sometimes you got to get these guys, you got to record them. They're out busy doing things, and this guy's got 2 young kids. I can't believe it's been 10 years now. They've gone from a 6-year-old to a 16-year-old, driving a car probably, but we'll find out. But if you haven't followed sports, if you haven't followed me, Friday night football games, ESPN Game Day, Savannah, Georgia was a lot of fun. And this man was the golden voice. That's right. He coined Stevie Powers the golden arm, but I called him the golden vocal cords because that's what it is when you do a game with Kevin Thomas. And, going into his 4th season as the play-by-play for BC Sports, I mean, he does the football season with Christian Gokel, another guy that did a great job at ESPN Coastal Savannah, okay? And then he goes out and he does baseball games for 912 Sports. He's doing basketball games for BC. It's just fun to talk to him and find out what's going on in BC sports, because now they started a station called, or a internet YouTube channel called Watch BC Sports. It's grown to over, I think, like 9,000 followers already. So it's amazing. Does a great job. And I'm going to put him on the Coach's Corner hot seat. Now, joining me live is no other than the golden vocal cords himself, Kevin Thomas. What's up, Kevin?
What's
How
up?
you doing?
I'm doing good, Carl. How are you?
I'm doing well, retired now, but semi-retired. I'm going to work over at St. Vincent's for a little while, but I'm still doing the internet shtick, and it's always a lot of fun on Wednesday nights talking to local sports guys that know what's going on. But once again, I've listened to your broadcast. Nothing changes. You still got that silky golden vocal cords.
Well, thank you. I've got the checks in the mail.
Okay, the check's in the mail, but, I won't be sitting next to you, but I'll get the check in the mail. But anyway, so new venture, okay? We know 9 years, ESPN, Savannah, Coastal, great job with the whole group over there. And, of course, it had to end. Now you jumped on to other little avenues on the internet, specifically BC football. And you were doing BC football before they started Watch BC Sports. So you've been the voice for the past 3 years, the voice for high school football on Friday nights. For how long we started doing this. I know I started with someone else. What was his name? Gabe?
Yeah.
So, and then we went to another guy, and finally we became the broadcast team. But you now on with Christian Gotel. So, I mean, what has been the most memorable call during your time with Benedictine football before you got into the Watch BC Sports internet broadcast?
I think the easy one for me would be the stand. It was the first of the back-to-back state championships. It's just kind of one of those fairy tale games where it was close, it was tight, it was back and forth, and they drive down there, and you were playing a team. Carl, you know this. The team they were playing ran the football. That's what they did. They were 6, 7, 8 guys, sometimes 9 guys near the line. They're going to power run right at you, and they had it 1st and goal from the 1 yard line. And you're thinking, well, it just wasn't meant to be, right? And so it's going to be tough to stop them not once, not twice, not 3 times, but probably 4 times to try to win the state championship. And they got it done, and unbelievable stand. Probably one of the craziest things I've seen in person as as a sports broadcaster. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of crazy plays, but on that level, with that on the line, it's all the sappy stuff you would make up in a movie of, oh, it's for the state championship in the 1 yard line, and usually that's one play, and they had to do it 4 times. So that's probably the one of the best games I've done, and certainly the way it ended, one of the best ones. And that was even more crazy because of where we were sitting. It was at Georgia State, and we were down in the far end zone. So they're literally probably 150 yards away from us. It's foggy. Yeah, it's foggy. You can't hardly see them. And we actually, just kind of a funny story, we called that play off the monitor because we could hardly see them down at the other end. And I think BC was wearing gray that night, so it just kind of blended in when you're trying to see way down to the other end. So they had a monitor in the radio booth, and we actually, Christian and I, watched the play on the monitor because we couldn't hardly see what happened way down on the other end. But it was a great finish.
Well, I mean, you called it well. I remember it well because I didn't go up to Georgia State to watch that game, so that was the only way I was going to watch it. It was unbelievable. And then you got another championship the following year. But 24 years now experience in radio, internet broadcasting. How do you approach this play-by-play? How did it evolve for Kevin Thomas, especially with the rise of the digital and the streaming platforms, just like you do now? Watch BC Sports.
Yeah, I mean, the play-by-play stuff is something that I was always interested in. Full disclosure, I don't know that I was really thinking about doing sports radio as I ended up doing it. My thought was I was going to be, I like music. I was going to be a music guy, music DJ, whatever you want to call it. And then the opportunity came up to start at a station, and they said, hey, you're going to do a sports talk show, which I was like, oh, that would be kind of fun. I think I could do that. And then they said, hey, there's going to be some play-by-play opportunities involved. And it just so happened that the station I got started at was in Brunswick, and the play-by-play they were talking about was doing Glen Academy basketball. And it just so happened they had a senior named Kwame Brown. And so who ended up being the number 1 pick in the draft, in the NBA draft right out of high school. So, and the first high schooler ever taken number 1. So, it was kind of a blessed thing, I guess, from the start, is that you walk in and immediately, most people that start doing this stuff, it's, hey, we're going to do some high school football or something. The team's not that good. Maybe but you went right in and you had a future NBA guy, and they went to this Final Four, lost in the last 20 seconds to Berkmar in the Final Four, and, got to see him go on and get drafted in the NBA. But that's how it all got started. And, it's kind of grown from there. And over the years, we added in doing high school football, which I had a lot of fun doing because you got to see a lot of teams. A lot of times, when you, for example, while we're doing BC, I love it. Trust me, I love it. It's fun. But when we were doing a different team every week, you really got to see a mix of all the different teams. Whereas now when you do, BC, I'll see a team one time. And that's it. And you kind of follow what they do, but you see them in person one time. Whereas when we were doing Game of the Week, hopping around, you could see maybe you saw Calvary a couple of times. Maybe you saw Windsor Forest a time or two. You saw Savannah Christian. You saw BC. You saw Jenkins. You saw everybody a couple of times, and you really got a feel for who was who around the area. Doing BC though, it's a lot of fun when you like everybody says, when you do a team that's as good as they are, it ain't hard. They're good. So, it's you just call what's happening. They take care of the rest. And they've been really, really good, obviously, under Danny Britt.
Well, that's perfect segue into my next question. As someone who has been seeing countless games of BC games, and there's some BC games where we had to go on a depth chart 100 deep to find these kids' names. What do you think sets Benedictine sports programs apart from the other schools in the area? In the 9-1, not just here in Savannah.
Well, I think obviously they're able to do the discipline aspect of it, and I'm not saying that nobody else does, but certainly I would think if you've watched the news in public school, this was a little bit of an issue. It's a toe the line. Are we going to make somebody mad? Mom and dad mad? Are they going to sue us or whatever? But I think at BC, hey, you're going to have structure. You're going to have discipline. That's just sorry if you don't like that, then you don't. To excellence. I think, Carl, you've been around the coaching world, and some places you go, they're going to win. Some places want to win, and some places just want to play, right? And I think and there's nothing wrong with any of those, but the level of commitment is different. If that's your mission, the level of commitment and what you really do is different. And I think, BC wants to win. They want to win the right way. They want to win at a high level. And when you do that, that's attractive to people as well that want to come and play. So I think that's kind of gone hand in hand with your success. And we have a guy at the top that's got a proven track record. I mean, that speaks for itself. So he continues to do what he does. And I think he said it to me 100 times, and I'm sure to you as well, Carl. He's like, I don't worry about everybody else. I just worry about doing what I'm doing. Well, whatever you're doing seems to be working. So I think that's attractive to a lot of people.
Just tuning in, you're watching the Karl DeMasi Sports Report on the Coach's Corner Sports Network, heard every Wednesday night from 7 to about 8 o'clock. And sometimes you got to record your guests. This is a recording with Kevin, the Golden Vocal Cords, Thomas from from Watch BC Sports now. So, and he's the he's the play-by-play guy, and Christian Gokel is the color guy. So, people don't know what go behind the scenes. Tell them the challenges you have to face being the voice of Benedictine Cadet football. How do you prepare for each game? And, of course, we know the rewards. I mean, you got 2 state blings on your face.
I do.
You have nothing. So talk about how you prepare. I mean, you got 100 kids on the roster. You did the scrimmage game the other night against Camden County. They had 130 kids. How do you prepare for all this?
I mean, I think a lot of that is, and again, I've said this, and I do mean it. Not that nobody else, but everything that I have ever asked for from Benedictine as far as broadcasting is concerned, it's been taken care of. Hey, I need a roster. How do you pronounce these kids' names? Who are the kids that are going to play? What do these kids do well? They've given it to me. And I know, and again, I say all this not to denigrate anybody else, and there's a lot of other schools in the area that will do that. But as you know, sometimes getting information is like going to the dentist and getting teeth pulled. It's not any fun, and sometimes just something as simple as, hey, I just want to know who's on the team, and is it accurate? That's tough to get sometimes. So they've usually been very good about telling me, hey, this is who's going to play. Obviously, there's times when they say, hey, so-and-so is probably not going to play. We'd rather you not save that until the game starts. Okay, I understand how that goes as well. But I think they have given me everything I need to be successful in my job, and I thank them for that. But certainly there's a lot of look ahead to now this week, Raven Gap. I don't really know much to do there because I don't think they've even really been in school very long as they're a boarding school, so they haven't come together, my understanding, to do a whole lot of practicing yet. It might be a pretty dry run against BC in the Earl Russell Classic, so I try to find out as much as I can and hope it's as accurate as it is. But by and large, when I focus on our broadcast, we're focusing on obviously what the cadets are doing, and most of what I need has been provided for me by Benedictine, and I think for that, Jack Holland, one of the best at what he does as an athletic director. And hats off to every athletic director out there, Carl. You know that it's a thankless job, and everybody just needs something. Hey, I just need this. I just need this, and why can't you give me 2 minutes? It's just one little thing. Why did it? And again, whenever I've needed something, by and large, it's been taken care of for me. So if I just need a little last-minute check of something or what, they're always able to give me an answer, and that's makes it a whole lot easier to go out there on Friday nights and do what I need to do.
Oh, I know. We've done those together. I mean, just a lot of stuff trying to, and you don't have to apologize. It's like pulling teeth. You got to pull teeth to get the information you need. And I know I'm going to go a little soapbox here because we've discussed this many a nights. I mean, they want the publicity. They want the exposure. Well, then help us out. Give it to us. I mean, the rosters on Max Preps never max up, or the stats are left off. You want the exposure. You got to help people out here. But that's another story. We'll talk that. Well, we don't have to talk about it again, but we know what it's like. So we'll go from there.
Nothing but it's true. I mean, it's true.
So. Not Kevin Thomas, the coach, said it. I mean, help us out. Like, I have a whole website dedicated to each school. Send me your info. I'll put it up there. I mean, you just got to help me out. I can't do everything, but we know that's tough. But you got great people over there with Jack and Danny and the whole conglomerate that helps you out with this. So it's pretty special. So, all right, 2 questions. I didn't want to keep you more than 15 minutes. So 2 questions. I know you and I could do this probably for 5 hours. Okay. Benedictine football, toughest schedule in the state of Georgia this year. 3rd toughest in the country, not BC's publicity by Cal Prep. They predict games. They predict where you're going to feel. I mean, this is a tough schedule. And just look at you. You go to Mola High School in there in Ohio. That's pretty impressive. So this schedule, this team, what do you think the 2024 edition of Benedictine football is going to be like?
Well, it's going to be a challenge. If you think you're going 10-0, if that happens, that's incredible. And I'm not saying that because nobody wants to lose. It's just, I mean, my goodness, it is a tough schedule. It was called as such for a reason when it was all said and done. But I'd say I was pretty impressed in the scrimmage against Camden. I know Camden breaking a new coach, new offensive scheme, so maybe that had a little something to do with how it looked. But offensively, BC looked very good. Defensively, they looked very good. Even the newcomers, you start thinking, hey, they lost a lot of seniors, and they did. But the guys on defense, they played a lot that are kind of stepping in to the starter role. So I think they're going to be good. The schedule is tough. Raven Gap has got a Power 5 quarterback that they're going to face. Buford is, I mean, if you've lived in this state for any amount of time, they're always good at every classification. And speaking of the look ahead, I think they had on their starting 11, on defense, I think they had 8 D1, like Power 5 commits just on defense that are starting. So, I mean, that's no joke. You don't run across that every day. Then you go to Moeller, which, just in following lightly in recruiting, Moeller puts them out. That is a huge school, I think, just outside of Columbus, Ohio. So my first trip to Ohio ever. I don't think I've ever been to Ohio and set foot on the grass, so I'll be excited about that. And again, that's a tough one. And then you get back into to region play, coach, and I mean, Perry won the state championship last year. BC the year before that. Ware County won it 2 years ago in another classification. Warner Robins is the top 5 winningest program in the state of Georgia. And oh, by the way, you have I think they're going to play spoiler to somebody, New Hampstead, and people forget Mr. Truel threw for 500 yards against BC last one. So, and then you have Wayne. Poor Wayne. I feel bad for John Mooring, and I was at a media event where he was. And he's like, we lost 30-something seniors off of last year's team, and then their non-region schedule is pretty ridiculous as well. And then you play a region. I've said it before, is that you could have a very good team in that region, and you at the end of the year, you're like, we're 4-6, and you could probably go beat the brakes off of a number of teams in another region. And I wouldn't be surprised if number 4 goes on the road and beats the number 1 when it comes playoff time. And I don't know if you saw it, Carl, they put out the preseason poll for 4A, and BC was number 1. And they got 3. Well, I'm going to say, but they were number 1. And 3 other schools in that region were in the top 9. So there you go. That kind of speaks for itself. It's going to be tough. You can't just take a week off. I know that every team's going to have those games where it's going to be 50-3. I'm not expecting a whole lot of those here in 2024. I think they're going to be tight ball games.
All right, last question, okay? we want you to plug Watch BC Sports. I mean, you witnessed the growth of high school sports coverage over the years from the radio. Now it's all sports broadcasting at the highest level. You got NFHS, you got internet. So it's really crazy. So what role do you think what platforms like Watch BC Sports will play and plug Watch BC Sports?
WatchBCSports.com is the website. Of course, we have a YouTube channel. We encourage you to subscribe to that, and you'll get notified when we go live for football games and whatnot. And to me, I think that's just kind of the way things are going. With the ability to specialize on whatever you want, whether it's, just look all over the internet if you have a page. Just like you, Coach, you specialize in high school sports on your page, and we specialize in one team, one school. So that is, I think, the way things have kind of gone. You see it around the country where programs like BC in other states, they have something similar where there's a team that follows around and it allows you to do video. I think the internet has allowed people to do video. It's not perfect, I will say that, but it allows you to do it. And the fact that you can now essentially bring a high school football team via your phone, stream it to your television, what have you, iPad, whatever you want, and get that done is amazing. And I think if you would have said 20 years ago, hey, every college team is going to be on every single game, or 30 years ago, every college team is probably going to be on TV every single game. And if they're not, they're online. Who knew what that was? But they're going to be online. You can watch it. That was unthinkable. In the era of the Larry Munsons, where Georgia fans like, oh man, I can't go to the game. They might be on TV 4 times a year. I have to listen to it and see what's going on. And I think it's just brought that aspect to the masses, where you can be a sports fan, and we get it from people listening and or watching, I should say, listening when we're at home, but North Carolina, Maine, overseas, and just by clicking on YouTube, you can watch Benedictine, and they have alumni all over the place. And so people, and I've said this a bunch too, you have to have that special connection where BC folks love BC. So long after they're gone, it's like, hey, I'm in Seattle, Washington. I know the Cadets are playing in Ohio today. I can tune in and watch the game. And I think that's the beauty of it, where 20 years ago that just wasn't happening. Even the ESPN, with their, you're talking about one game a day, when they do high school football on there. So this is an interesting medium, and it's really fun. But I think it's one that you'll probably see more of, because it's a way to boost your school. It's a way to promote your school. It's a way to get your product to people. You don't know who's watching. It could be college coaches can sit down and say, I'll just watch BC Sports on YouTube, and I can watch guys play. Without having to hunt for game tape, I can watch it as it's happening if be so. It's been a fun thing, and I think seeing the number of people that watch and communicate with us on Friday nights, it's fun. And I think that's also the other aspect, is you can actually chat back and forth with us if you want to while the game's going on. And that usually, certainly with TV, it never happens. And certainly if you're doing live radio, you're not taking phone calls in the middle of a game, whereas now you can, if people are watching, they can send their kudos to their players or ask questions to us in the booth, and we can respond while the game's going on. And I think that's another really cool dynamic as well.
Well, you've been around it a long time, and I still enjoy listening to it. And I know you got your sidekick back, Christian. He took a year off, but he's back. I know he's behind the scenes, but now he's back in the booth with you. Should be a lot of fun, and look forward to following BC, watch BC Sports, and following the Cadets on the internet. Appreciate it. Always appreciate you coming on. And like I text our little paisan, PJ Zuko, a couple of days ago, missed Friday nights with you and that little guy. It was a lot of fun and a lot of great memories, and still enjoy listening to you, buddy.
Yeah, it certainly was. And don't forget, Carl, we are Saturday for this first game. So we don't even get Friday night.
It's not Friday night. It's Saturday at 6 o'clock at the prettiest little stadium in the world. And that's Paulson Stadium for Georgia Southern, the Irk Russell Classic. Yes, remember, it's Saturday, not Friday, people. It's Saturday.
That's right.
So you're going to be in a booth?
Yeah, I'll be up there, up in the booth, looking down from afar and getting ready for the start of the high school football season officially. It kind of sneaks. You have to wait an extra day, but, it'll be all right.
Is our buddy going to be there saying, and that's another Eagle first down, Robbie Ross?
No, he won't be there. He probably won't be saying Eagle first down. If he does, maybe there's something going on. But, yes, he will be there and calling all the action inside the stadium for folks. And, it's going to be a fun kind of reunion up there in the booth.
Have fun. Appreciate it.
Will do. Thanks, Carl.
Talk to you later.
See you.
I mean, he loves high school sports. He did a phenomenal job covering ESPN High School Game Day. I had a lot of fun working with him, PJ, Christian, the whole crew. It was a lot of fun. But he's still bringing it. Now it's on the internet. Now you could listen to him. You could see him. It's something special, and it's called Watch BC Sports. It's on Facebook. I don't know if it's on Twitter yet, but I know it's on Facebook. It's on YouTube. Check it out. It's this Saturday, 6 o'clock. The Cadets kick off this season against Rayburn out of North Carolina. It should be a lot of fun. One of the toughest schedules in the land. Yeah, great interview. Glad that I can catch up with Kevin Thomas. I'm telling you right now, like I said, 6-7 years, it was a lot of fun. Started off with a couple of different guys, and then Kevin came on to do the play-by-play. I did the color because, I'm the football coach. Then, of course, PJ Zuko jumped in with all those little updates and keeping track of high school first look. So it was a lot of fun, and I wish him the best of luck. And WatchBCSports.com is growing really big on Facebook. They got like 9,000 followers. So check it out. Saturday night, 6 p.m., Georgia Southern University at Paulson Stadium. Kevin Thomas, Christian Gokel calling that game. Next up, we're going to go to Richmond Hill. That's right. We're going to go down to 16, down 95. We're going to hook up with the man himself, the man that has built the hill back to where it was. And that's, of course, been there 10 years. I can't believe it. Matt Lezotte. You're watching the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Be back in about 3 minutes. Hey, sports fans, looking for the ultimate sports and entertainment destination in Savannah, Georgia? Look no further than Coach's Corner. At Coach's Corner, you'll find everything you need for a great time, including TVs everywhere so you can catch all the latest sporting events, an outdoor seating area perfect for enjoying a drink or a meal on a warm day, a wide array of drink options from beers to cocktails, a comprehensive sports schedule so you can cheer on your favorite teams year-round, prompt service even when it's crowded, a fun and lively atmosphere perfect for letting loose with your friends, and of course, delicious food, from famous chicken wings, hamburgers to delectable calzones and pizzas. Coach's Corner menu is sure to satisfy your cravings. In addition to all this, Coach's Corner also features an upgraded sound garden. Now, more seats, more bars, and an upgraded sound system. It's the perfect spot for hundreds of fans to gather and enjoy the latest local bands, tribute acts, and rising stars. So what are you waiting for? Join us at Coach's Corner for the ultimate sports, music, and culinary experience. Coach's Corner can't wait to see you soon. Remember, Coach's Corner is located at 3016 Victory Drive, right in Thunderbolt, Georgia, and on the World Wide Web at coaches.net. Remember, Coach's Corner, where every day is game day.
Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary Day School, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ at Calvary Day School. We would consider it a privilege to meet with you and your family personally. Call Alicia Bain, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299. Yo, you still want some real New York Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road, Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., serving breakfast and lunch right here in Savannah, Georgia. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering has been serving the public for over 3 years. Now, if you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered to your door, go online to SavannahTakeout.com or DoorDash.com, or just pick up the phone and call 912-354-2914. That's right, 912-354-2914. Kabish, and remember, we ain't New York style. We are New York at Rocky's New York Deli and Italian.
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room. If you can, At the Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Weatherington at the Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And welcome back to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here on the Soundgarden stage at Coach's Corner on Victory Drive in Thunderbolt, Georgia. That's right, because it's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Hey, help the old coach out. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. Go check out the PrepSportsReport.com. You want to see the previews, the capsules, the games that are going on? Go right ahead. And if you have anything, please send it to me, okay? Send it to me. Here's the banner right now. Send stories, recaps to the Karl DeMasi or to K DeMasi at PrepSportsReport.com, or text me final scores to 912-507-9158, or text me stories that you know of, and I'll call you and I'll get back with you. I want to promote the good kids. I want to promote what's going on in youth sports, high school sports, kids that go on to college sports, to professionals. Hey, Kalen Deloach, Islands High School. I got to coach him in basketball. Didn't get to coach him in football. He's second on the depth chart at Tampa Bay. Dylan McMahon out of Savannah Christian. He's number 3 on the Philadelphia Eagles depth chart. And I just noticed who's number 1 for the Eagles, outside linebacker, strong linebacker, Nolan Smith. This is what I want you guys to know. This is what I want you to find out. Send me that stuff, okay? Send me that stuff, and I'd love to get them on. All right, enough on my soapbox. Next guest. Couldn't make it. He's got a bye week, but there's a lot of stuff going on in Richmond Hill with the floods and the kids and everybody else. And he's got his own family. He's the winningest coach in Richmond Hill high school football history with 51 wins. Lyman guy who was there for 4 seasons was 28-15. But Lezotte's won 51 games out of 97 that he's coached. Pretty impressive. 1 region championship. And in the regions that this guy's been playing with, it's pretty impressive. So up next, right here on the Coach's Corner, hot seat, the man himself. It's pre-recorded. That's, of course, he's building the hill, always building the hill, whether he's up or sleeping, Matt Lezotte.
And welcome back to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. Once again, like I say, I love doing live, but sometimes you got to catch these guys when you can. You have to record it. Well, this man's been around for longer than I thought. I mean, he's made his name for himself, came down here, took over the Richmond Hill High School Wildcat football program, and they're a team that everybody knows about, that they reckon with, and tough over there in Richmond Hill with the storm coming in and everything else going on. They couldn't make it to the Saturday's Optimum Orthopedics Prep Sports Report meet today, but I wasn't going to let Matt Lezotte get away, so I had to tackle him and get him to do this. So we'll do it quick because, we're recording this, and I know he's got things to go and places to be. Joining me on the Coach's Corner hotline, the man himself. They built the hill with this guy, Matt Lezotte. What's up, Coach?
Karl, what's happening, man?
Hey, getting to talk to you guys. It's football season. The old ball coach is getting itchy. I miss the Friday nights. I don't miss what goes into it like I know you have to deal with. So I miss the Friday nights. But, it's going great. It's going great. Retired, got a grandkid, working part-time. So I can't complain.
Congratulations on that. I know Tommy Hensley just told me that you're new granddad. So congratulations.
Yeah, it's definitely the reason why I retired and reason why I wanted to do it. But I'm still involved. I got approached by St. Vincent's to come help them out to be an assistant athletic director. So I can't complain. I'm still in the loop. And you know what? They got a football team that's undefeated.
Yeah, we all do.
So, at this point of the season, everybody's undefeated, but St. Vincent's hasn't had a football team. They have a very good flag football team. So going to talk about that later on in the season. But once again, how many years now have you been there? 11?
this is year 10. So
Year 10.
double digits. I was texting with one of the former players who's at Georgia Southern right now, and I said, it's hard to imagine that I'm double digits here, and I was at the beginning of my career back in the day when he was coming through, and what a journey it's been on, what a process it's been to not only take over this program, but to go through this growth and development and this era. I mean, it's everything has changed since I've been here, and it's just an exciting time to be in Richmond Hill, to be part of this, and we try to stay on the front end of everything as far as everything that we do, trying to provide for our guys and play competitive ball, and I'm really looking forward to this season.
Well, I know last year, kind of tough for you. Still made the playoffs. You were playing in one of the toughest regions in the state, that 7A Region 1. So reclassification moves you down to 6A. So give us a little insight on what this means for the Wildcats moving down into this Region 6A classification and, the schedule you got to face.
Well, I tell you, I'm going to say this out loud and let me see how you think about it. 9 out of the 10 teams we played last year were playoff teams, and the one that wasn't was Lowndes. Think about it. So, we're not shying away from playing competitive football. We have, iron sharpens iron. There are a lot of great football teams in the state of Georgia. And we've been very competitive, but the goal isn't to be competitive. The goal is to win the games. And we had a very young team 2 years ago, and this year we're not going to have a young team. And so we feel like everything that we've done over the process of 2 years has led us to this moment to go out there and play a brand of football. We got a great group of kids that show up every single day. When you have 120 plus showing up every single day during the summertime, you're doing something right. The culture has never been as strong as it is right now. The fight, the grit, the work ethic, everything is as good as you can expect. And we just got to try to put it all together when the season rolls around. We open up on the 23rd with Glenn Academy, and the goal for us is, can we put it all together to make it work? Because we got some tough teams on the back end of our schedule.
Camden County, Colquitt County, Lowndes, Tift County, Valdosta, legendary high school football programs in Georgia. And plus, you guys are the road warriors because there's no short away conference game for you. How do you get your staff and your kids up for this every year in and year out?
Well, it doesn't take much when you're playing those guys. What an opportunity we have to go showcase our talents, our abilities on that kind of stage. Everybody in the state of Georgia is going to see this film. The highest classification, the teams late in the playoffs. So, they're going to be watching our film, and knowing what we do as a program. It was great to go into the first round and play Grayson last year, and to go against that high caliber team. There aren't very many teams in the country that are built like that, and to go and to fight them for 4 quarters, what an opportunity for our guys to go and showcase it. It doesn't take a whole lot of convincing on my end to get our guys ready to go. They're always ready. Sometimes fall short. Sometimes we end up in the winning column, but it's not from lack of effort. I promise you that.
All right. I know we've been going long here. We've had a couple of glitches. So once again, you got some standout players. I mean, they're getting a lot of attention, college offers, new talent returning team. How do you plan to leverage this mix? And if you want to give a shout out about any of them.
Well, we've got Carl. I'll be honest with you, man. We've got such a tremendous senior class. It'd be hard. It'd be hard to really pinpoint, because our offensive line is phenomenal. We've got great quarterback play out of Kirk Scott. A couple of skill guys in Brandon McDonald and Caleb Easterling that have played a lot of ball for us year in, year out. We got 2 running backs in the backfield that are tremendous ball players. We've got linebacking core that is second to none. I feel like we've got 2 of the best inside linebackers that you could ever imagine having at the high school level. And so you just start adding all these components. We're just seasoned up, ready to go. We remind these guys all the time. They've only got one shot at this. They've been playing since they were 8 years old, but but now's the last guaranteed time that they're going to be able to go out and play football. So you've got one shot at this. Can you put all the other things aside over the next couple months and really focus on and utilize this opportunity that you have to really dial it in and go play?
Yeah, it goes quick, especially your senior year. So you've just gone through, summer workouts. Now you're going through preseason camp. You got another week off to get ready for Glenn Academy. It'll be 2 weeks before you have played. So share some insights into the practices now that keep these kids motivated, not starting like everybody else this week, but starting 2 weeks later and keeping them focused.
Well, I think Georgia High School has it all wrong with the start date, if I'm being honest. My phone overheated earlier while we were on this thing, and we had to quickly continue because you take a look at it, and early in the morning it's already hot out. So we're having heat is affecting everybody down in our area. The heat, and not to mention the rain and the lightning, and then you add flooding on top of that here in Richmond Hill. Check that box, right? It's I've seen a lot, man. I've had a lot of firsts for me being here, and I tell some stories about some of the things, and it's kind of mind blowing. But I think we're starting at the right time. I think the 23rd is a fantastic time to start, just because you get out of some of that back to school stuff and some of the weather issues, and hopefully it works out well for us. But we play 8 straight from then on, until our bye during the region play. And
right.
So if I've got a group that's prepared to do it, it's this group right here. I couldn't be more proud of them. We set a premium on preparation, and our guys have bought into it, and it allows us to show up with the roster that we have and compete against the teams that we play against. And our guys don't want to play second fiddle to anybody. They might not have FBS offers or Power 4 offers or anything like that, but these guys want to go play college football, and they've worked really hard to provide opportunities. We've got a handful of guys that will have that opportunity, and hopefully some others that may play into being able to do that. But we're extremely blue collar, and waiting is preparing. So we're going to use this time to grow from our scrimmage game, and to prepare and get ready for Glenn Academy, who's always tough, and then start this march of 8 straight.
All right, last question, because I don't want to keep you any longer. Hey, but I'm going to make you an offer. Let me know. I know it's because of the green screen. My Islands High School Shark, which is a new logo over there for the last 2 years. Let me know how I can get one of those Wildcat T-shirts. I'll even pay for it so I can wear it on the show.
Carl, I got you, man. It's medium, right? Size medium? I got plenty of those.
Maybe 40 years ago.
Yeah.
No.
You just let me know. I'll take care of it, Carl. Hey, listen, and I tell you what, man, and you're probably not told this enough, but thank you so much for what you do for high school athletics here in this area. It's what an awesome platform you have. Awesome way to give exposure to these kids. You're an amazing guy. You really genuinely care about these kids and these programs, and the coverage that you give everybody. So I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for the coverage and the love that you show the Richmond Hill Wildcats. But thank you for everybody else also. It's just, we grow up in a world where there's access to so much information, and still very few are willing to do what you're doing. And I thank you for doing that.
Matt, you're like me, except you're a lot younger and better looking. It's all about the kids. And when I moved down here, coming from New York in 1995, you couldn't get in the newspaper. You couldn't get on the TV. And when I came down here, it took me 3 or 4 years to realize, I said, this is a great avenue to get more stuff out here about the kids and what these other kids are doing at schools like Richmond Hill or St. Andrews or Memorial Day School or even Benedictine. I mean, just more information. The TV stations get 2 minutes a night. Dennis Knight gets so many characters in a story, and he's a one-man show. So anything I could do, I love doing it. I love, covering it. And, like I said, I can't believe you've been here 10 years. That young whippersnapper that came down here 10 years ago from the Atlanta area, I said, man.
What happened?
You got old, you got smarter, you built a good program, you're getting some great, well, I wish I can grow that beard so you can see my gray, but I can't. So, but I think I got the gray wings. That's what they call it. But anyway, but you've done a great job. You still care about those kids. You care about what's going on there in Richmond Hill, and God willing, and got to thank God that nothing really happened tragically over there with this storm. But Keep it going. You'll see me during the season, but I missed you on Saturday. I had to get you on here. And as you love to say, build that hill, buddy.
Build the hill. We're out of here. Time to go get ready.
All right. Good luck in 2 weeks with the Terrors, the Red Terrors of Glen Academy. I can't believe Matt Lezotte's been here for 11 years. I mean, I remember when he came in, young, energetic, new coach, and, trying to change that culture over there at Richmond Hill. And I'm telling you right now, they've changed the culture over there at Richmond Hill. We always say build the hill, but they've built the hill there, and it's one of the most respected or well-known programs here in Georgia. So can't wait to see what the Wildcats do with the schedule. I'm telling you, such a tough region, playing perennial state playoff champion teams, but he does a good job over there. 120 kids come to practice every day. What more do you want?
You got the coach. That's what you want. No, I mean, he's done a great job over there. It's so exciting to see what he's done with that program. Like I said, he's the winningest coach in that program, and he's made it respectable. He does a lot of coaching clinics, a lot of speaking engagements, and he's got a family. I don't know how he does it, but he does a great job. And Matt Lezotte, 10 years, man. What he's done at that program is pretty impressive, and got to give him a lot of credit. And they open up August 23rd against Glen Academy. All right, so next up, Holden, we got a comment here. Let's see. Kevin Brown jumped on a little while ago, said, preach it, coach. Hey, Kevin, you know as well as I do. If you don't give me the news or tell me about the news, give me a call. I'll do it with you. Okay, just let me know. And then we got another one down here, and there he is. He's still following tonight. He is a Red Terror. That's right. Kevin Brown, Glen Academy, way back when, Armstrong Atlantic State Pirate 2, baseball, and then, of course, found his way here to Savannah, Georgia. Did his student teaching at Johnson, made a name for himself at Groves, Woodville, Tompkins. Now he's downtown working with middle schoolers. So he's doing a great job. Kevin, thanks for always checking in, whether it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Love you, brother. Appreciate it. All right, next up, don't go away. Don't go away. This guy is the voice of Georgia high school football. This man knows everything about Georgia high school football. You can see him on Friday night, okay, with Hannah Golden on GPB, Georgia Public Broadcasting Sports Channel. They do a game of the week. He does so many different podcasts and shows. He knows football. I met him a while ago through the near and dear friend of ours. His name was Tommy Palmer. High school scoreboard, 11 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night on the radio. And we got to meet him. I got to meet him personally. He made me the Georgia coastal correspondent. And then I met Jon Nelson, and it's been a friendship since, and never turns me down. Well, that's enough of me. Got to thank the sponsors. We'll be back in 3 minutes talking about Georgia high school football all over the state, and he does focus on the Coastal Empire. So stay tuned. You want to hear what he has to say about Savannah Christian, Calvary, Benedictine, New Hampstead? He does give us a good plug. You're watching the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Be right back, 3 minutes. Okay. Okay, you got to love the internets. Once again, I'll be back in 3 minutes. You're watching the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Let's hope it works this time.
Hey, sports fans, looking for the ultimate sports and entertainment destination in Savannah, Georgia? Look no further than Coach's Corner. At Coach's Corner, you'll find everything you need for a great time, including TVs everywhere, so you can catch all the latest sporting events, an outdoor seating area, perfect for enjoying a drink or a meal on a warm day, a wide array of drink options from beers to cocktails, a comprehensive sports schedule so you can cheer on your favorite teams year-round, prompt service even when it's crowded, a fun and lively atmosphere perfect for letting loose with your friends, and of course, delicious food, from famous chicken wings, hamburgers, to delectable calzones and pizzas.
Coach's Corner menu is sure to satisfy your cravings. In addition to all this, Coach's Corner also features an upgraded sound garden. Now, more seats, more bars, and an upgraded sound system. It's the perfect spot for hundreds of fans to gather and enjoy the latest local bands, tribute acts, and rising stars. So what are you waiting for? Join us at Coach's Corner for the ultimate sports, music, and culinary experience. Coach's Corner can't wait to see you soon. Remember, Coach's Corner is located at 3016 Victory Drive, right in Thunderbolt, Georgia, and on the World Wide Web at coaches.net. Remember, Coach's Corner, where every day is game day.
Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary Day School, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ at Calvary Day School. We would consider it a privilege to meet with you and your family personally. Call Alicia Bain, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Yo, you still want some real New York Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road, Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., serving breakfast and lunch right here in Savannah, Georgia. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering has been serving the public for over 3 years. Now, if you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered to your door, go online to SavannahTakeout.com or DoorDash.com, or just pick up the phone and call 912-354-2914. That's right, 912-354-2914. Kabish, and remember, we ain't New York style, we are New York at Rocky's New York Deli and Italian.
Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can. At the Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Weatherington at the Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And welcome back to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network on the Soundgarden stage at Coach's Corner on Victory Drive, Thunderbolt. Come on in, get some wings, get some food. It's delish. We got things going on here Friday and Saturday night in the Soundgarden. Check it out. Go to eventbrite.com. Get your tickets 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock. You got to check it out. And you like Leonard Skinner? Saturday night, Freebird. You want to do a little Woodstock? They got 2 bands coming in on Friday for Woodstock. You want to come next Saturday? You love Aerosmith? We'll be listening to Aerosmith. And just a couple things to tell you. The Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic after the week. Couldn't get one. Everybody was busy. I like to do that live. Couldn't pre-record it because they're all back in school. So I'll be having my athlete of the week next week. Like I said, if you have an athlete of the week, send me his name, her name. I don't care what sport they play. 912-507-9158. Text, hey, coach, I got a player at this school. Check it out. See what she's done, he's done. Or email me at kdemasi@prepsports.com. Let's get some more news about these good kids. Thank you, Dr. Bart Weatherington. Thank you, Lisa Weatherington, for always supporting the Karl DeMasi Sports Report since 2010. That's 14 years they've been sponsoring the Athlete of the Week. You got to love it. They're local and they love us. Savannah and Pooler. Go check it out. All right. So next guest. Wow, Lawrence, you'd be proud of me if you were here. Going to make it over the hour and a half mark here for the first time in a long time. Saturday mornings we're always over an hour and a half. But this next guest, the voice of Georgia high school football. He's been involved for almost 30 years. He lives in Atlanta. He grew up in Atlanta. He went to Florida State, so we got to give him some love, okay? He's covered the World Series, All-Star Games, Summer Olympics, Georgia high school championships. He's written 5 books, okay? And he did write a book, Peach State Pigskin, A History of High School Football here in Georgia. So I think he knows what he's talking about. But it's always great bringing him on. And when we lost the internets, I lost his video. So hold on. Let's get his video back up here. There we go. Whoops, I don't want to show that yet. Okay. So, but anyway, he's been doing it for a long time. You can watch him on Football Fridays on Georgia Public Broadcasters, Game of the Week, or you can watch his podcast, his Vlogcast with Hannah Golden. They do a great job. But that's no other than good buddy of mine, the one cute sports guy is posted by his wife, okay, and that's Jon Nelson. And he focuses at the end on our Coastal Empire teams. He just doesn't talk about all the states, all the teams in the state or a certain area. He will talk about the Coastal Empire.
And it's been the show of recordings for this Wednesday night. So, well, it's really Tuesday, but I'm recording for Wednesday. But it's the coach, Karl DeMasi. You're watching the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here live on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. And it's football season. It's football season. That's right. Football. You know, I just before he came on here talking to the man that's up next, pastime, great American pastime, baseball. No good. Not in America anymore. It's American football. And this guy's been doing it for a long time. And I'm going to say it here. I'm going to say it now. I'll probably say it 5 times during this recording. But this is the voice of Georgia high school football. And he loves what he does. He's got a great co-anchor and Hannah over there on Georgia Public Broadcasting sports team. They got so many shows going on during the week. I don't know which one to watch and what to do. But he's sitting there waiting, chopping at the bits to talk about some football in Georgia high school. The man himself, the voice of Georgia high school football, Jon, the cute guy, Nelson. What's up, boss?
That's a cute sports guy to use, sir. When the boss says that's what it is, that's what your handle is on Instagram. So yeah, cute sports guy, exactly.
Well, you got to love Patty, and we hope our War Eagles, our Fighting Tigers, can do the job this year.
Oh my gosh, I'm not as optimistic as you are, and she's going to take it a Saturday at a time, using the first coaching cliche here on our segment.
So, all right, let's get this. Let's kick it off. 4 questions, 4 quarters with the man himself. Jon Nelson, OSG Nelson Sports, GP, Georgia Public Broadcast Sports, you name it. And he's also a soccer fanatic. That's another story. But so you've covered a wide range of sports over your career, Jon, from Major League Baseball to high school football.
Yep.
What drives Jon Nelson to cover all this stuff, and how much energy you put into high school football every year with your cohort, Hannah, over there?
It's the art of the story. And for me, it's about finding good stories and good stories to tell. And there's a reporter for CBS News, and I don't know how many folks stay up or get up early on Sunday mornings to watch the Sunday morning program on CBS that Jane Pauley hosts now. Steve Hartman goes and finds the wildest features that you can think of. And one thing that he used to do on CBS is he would go to a town. Literally, I mean, what he would do is he would sit there and he would like spin the globe or something, and he would go bang, and it's like, okay, I'm going here. He goes to that town, and then back in the days when there were actual like phone booths that didn't have anything to do with Doctor Who and going from one place to another, he would wander into a phone booth, and he would open up the phone book in that town that he found randomly. Then what he would do is he would open the phone book to a random page, close his eyes, and then he would go bang. And what he would do is that name that his finger got to in the phone book, he would go to that person and he would find out what their story is. And Steve's mantra has always been, everyone has a story. So in taking that approach, I always like to try and find a story wherever I am. And with high school football, there's the opportunity for, at minimum, 400 plus stories every single season to work their way into the everyday. And so for me, it's the art of finding a good story, telling a good story, and sharing the state with the rest of the state, if that makes any sense.
Oh, it makes perfect sense for me, because I know you're all over the place. And perfect segue. I miss this. No Southern swing anymore. You're not traveling from one part of the state across the tundra to another part of the state, back north to south. I miss that. But, tell us what you've been doing this year as far as getting the message out there from the coaches and the teams
So far, what's been the most memorable one for Jon Nelson this year?
See, now, all these third-person references, traditionally, they're for me, that's $1 in the jar. So I can't do a third-person reference. You can do a third-person reference asking a question. Right now, we are working on our big story, the big story that we always air during the championships. And it has to do with what's going on in Manchester. And so the team right now that they are one of the favorites, top ranked in their class in Class A. I think it's D1 or D2. But anyway, in Class A, they're ranked in some polls preseason number 1. Everything runs together. And so we're pursuing our big story in Manchester this year. So piecing that together has always been fun. We've attended a couple of media days, and Hannah and I have pieced together. Last week was our tour around the state on the Football Fridays in Georgia podcast, where we caught up with Greg Vandegrift up at Prince Avenue. We caught up with Jeremy Edwards at Houston County, caught up with Sean Calhoun at Colquitt, caught up with Justin Rogers, who had storm. You know, when the hurricane, when Debbie went through Justin Rogers' pecan orchard that he has in his backyard, and so his power was out when we caught up with him, and so he took his either his phone or his iPad or whatever, and he goes out to his back patio and he's showing us all the storm damage that Debbie created that knocked out his power. And so when we talked to him earlier than we did Sean. Sean was inside of his house, and he hadn't gotten hit as hard as Justin did. And so we were talking about everybody who we talked to, and Sean says, well, you know, I'm sitting here in my house. You know, you want me to go out back? And we said, well, Justin did it. And so literally he takes his iPad and he goes to his backyard and shows us what's going on there. So it's that kind of fun that you can have with coaches leading into a season, knowing how serious it's going to be and how stacked regions are now that we have reclassification. So all of the story juggling in its own little pieces. And we caught up with a bunch of media folks around the state this week, and that's going to come out soon a bit. So it's still chasing stories and chasing coaches, and it's always fun to catch up with a lot of folks before the season starts, even if we have to do it virtually now.
You know, Debbie came through with a storm, but you're still chasing the storm with the coaches. So, but once again, right into another great question that runs into one of your just ended statements. But you know, the reclassification, the reduction of classifications. How do you think this will impact the competitive landscape of high school football in Georgia this season? And are there any teams or regions you're keeping an eye on besides Manchester? I know you like going from Rome, Georgia, all the way down to Camden County. I mean, you go all this way, that way, this way. You know, wherever you want to go, you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the part that I'm blessed about at Georgia Public is that I have, I have bosses and coworkers that come and ask me. It's like, okay, well, what story do you want to do? And I'll say this one. And they're like, okay, go, fine. To have that kind of trust is immeasurable in our building. But when you mention reclassification to me, let's say last year before reclass happened, I have been of the mind that we had at least one, if not two, too many A's, because, and you see this, especially in the postseason, where there are teams that make it into the postseason as a 4 seed, and they've had a really tough non-region schedule, and they've had an incredibly tough region schedule, and they're below 500 going into the playoffs. There were times where you had teams that had won 1 or 2 games in an entire season, and they're making the postseason because you don't have more than 4 teams in a region. And because there's 4 teams in a region, this team that has had a rough year goes in as a 4 seed, and we've had teams that have forfeited that were 4 seeds that were below 500 going up against top-ranked teams. So I've always been of that mindset that you had at least 1, if not 2, too many A's. So they met me. No, they didn't consult me, but they met me in the middle, and they trimmed us from 7A being the highest classification to 6A being the highest classification. So I'll take it. And what you have in that is some insanely competitive regions across the state. Benedictine is in one of those regions. I mean, you look at the region that they are in, and you have all of these defending champs that are, basically just kind of hanging out with each other. And you tell me, and this is one of those regions that if you are chasing after a state championship, and they will be in that region, someone in that particular region is going to be a 3 seed or a 4 seed. They will probably be a top 10 team in the state in that region because of the quality of the competition that's there. And they will have to make a deep run in the playoffs as a road team. I mean, think about it. When you're in Region 1 Quad A, and Benedictine is not going into that new private school competition, which is single A through triple A. Benedictine, because they're one quad, they are in a region with Ware, Warner Robins, and Perry. Good luck. I mean, gracious. You look at that region, and that is insane to have that as one of the regions that is going to be incredibly competitive. Yeah, I'm looking at that one all season long. There's the one in 5A that has Gainesville, Roswell, and Milton in it. So once again, someone's going to be a 3 seed in that region, and they're going to make a deep run in the playoffs, but have to do it on the road. I mean, those are just 2 examples, but you've got these stacked regions now that are going to make for fantastic viewing for us who cover it, but it's going to make for absolute nerve-wracking, finger-biting, blowing through 2 shirts in a Friday night, sweat building up all over the place. And I mean, because of how competitive things are. I mean, I'll give you another one. In Central Georgia, 2 AAA, you end up with Mary Persons, Troop, LaGrange, Spalding, Sandy Creek. So if that's 5 teams, last time I checked. So Mary Persons, Troop, LaGrange, Spalding, who gave Perry everything that they could handle in region last year before reclass, and Sandy Creek. That's 5 teams. How many teams make it into the playoffs in a region? 4. So I held up 5 fingers for Region 2 AAA. That means that somebody in that region specifically could be a top 10 or a top 15 team in AAA and will not even make it to the postseason because of how stacked Region 2 AAA is. You've got all the Columbus schools now. They're in one region for the first time in like 15 years. You know, obviously, you look at Region 1 and you know how stacked that's going to be. Traditionally, 1-6A, you're going from one end of the state to the other, the pack of lunch, a dinner, and a midnight snack trip, wearing the hard hat and bringing your clothes and your blanket and everything. So there are all of these regions. I mean, the mountain region, it's going to have Elbert and Rabun and everybody stacked up there. So there are these pockets that we're used to seeing. I mean, Cass and Cartersville is going to be in a region this year that's going to be absolutely insane. So going from 7 to 6 as the highest classification is going to create chaos, and I mean that in a good way for those of us that cover it on a daily basis. But for the coaches that are going to be in these new regions, you're going to have this little bit of adjustment, and it's going to be interesting to see who adjusts the fastest. In, say, like 7 quad, you're dealing with Cedartown, you're dealing with Cass, you're dealing with Cartersville, you're dealing with Dalton, and you've got Allatoona, who's been a state champ in years past. So once again, that's 5 for 4. Going from 7 to 6 gives us these opportunities. Having the private championship from single A to triple A is going to be another interesting element because there's math involved, and you know how much I stink at math. So having that championship is going to be interesting on its own as well. So there's a lot of new storylines here because of compression and reclassification.
I'm going to give away my age here. 30 years ago, when I made the trek from over the Mason-Dixon line, we were using the PowerPoint system because we had to have schools with smaller enrollments playing schools with bigger enrollments. But how is it going to affect you making the playoffs? So the PowerPoints, I know all about the PowerPoints. Way back when I could figure it out. Right now, I looked at it the other day. Madone, I don't know where I'm going with that one, John. I mean, it's all over the place. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And I know I told you I didn't want to keep you long. So we're early in the campaign of the 2024 season. We always talk about the 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And what you just said,
Preseason is going to be fun. Region's going to be unbelievable. And whoever makes it to the playoffs, they're going to have icing on the cake, because some of these teams that we have seen do it year in, year out aren't going to be there.
I know. And that to me is, who is going to be road ready? And that's why when you've got these non-region schedules that we talk about, season one, all of the road games that you schedule, so you can go to all of these different places. You travel to Statesboro, you travel to Savannah, you travel to Middle Georgia, you travel, you play a team out of British Columbia if you're Mary Persons, and they come to Forsyth, So I want to see who's going to be road ready, and this is my word of warning that I always give to folks. If your team, especially this year in the first year of reclassification, if your team out of season one has a larger number to the right of the decimal place than it does to the left of the decimal place, that traditionally means, yes, you have more losses than you do wins. That's okay, because it's the non-region schedule. You learn about yourself. You learn about doing things on the road. You play up to the level of competition that's there. You learn about yourself in season one. If you're 1-2, if you're 2-3, if you're 0 and whatever, that's okay. You're learning about yourself going into region play. There might be teams that would be 6-4, but they'll be a region champ. Look at their non-region schedule and what they did in that season one to get them ready for season two, so they could have all those home games in season three, so they can chase after a championship at Mercedes-Benz in the middle of December.
All right, got to ask you a little flavor down here on the southeast coast. Okay, Benedictine, Calvary, Savannah Christian getting a lot of ink this year. Benedictine has the third toughest schedule in the country, and Savannah Christian's got everybody coming back, and Calvary got everybody coming back. You could have this, John. You could be calling a Savannah Christian Calvary game in that private school sector for that championship. I'm just saying that. But what is your take on why down here in the southeast we're getting a lot of course, we're talking about the Coastal Empire, we're getting a lot of notoriety?
Well, I mean, when you got talent, folks gravitate to talking about you. I mean, it's you look at all of the talent that is there in the state. And so, of course, let me dial up things on the interwebs here real quick. I mean, when Elijah Griffin is the top prospect in the state of Georgia at number one, Savannah Christian locked into UGA for the moment until that fax gets sent in. It's always be BC Cruton, always be Cruton. Taking the parody away from our friends at Glengarry Glen Ross, the movie. But when Elijah Griffin is your number one, when you've got Elias Williams at Camden County, who is the number 6 prospect in the state, Tavion Wallace, who is the number 7 prospect in the state, and he's in Jessup at Wayne County. When you and I'm just scrolling right now to look at all of the talent that we've seen all season long, and we've talked about, going through all of their younger days and getting ready for what's going on. But when you have all of the talent that is here in this state that comes from all over the place and locks itself down, you're going to get that kind of attention. You're going to have folks. I mean, you've got Herbert Scroggins at Benedictine, who's a fantastic edge rusher. I'm going to have to talk to him about his current choice of institution for higher learning, because you know how I am when it comes to the schools that wear orange and in his case right now, orange and green. Herbert and I are going to have a talk. I mean, Logan Brooking, Savannah Christian, who's a big tight end, a tall drink of water at 6'5". You're talking about another top 50 talent. And he's looking to go to Death Valley. Thomas Blackshear at wide receiver to Calvary Day. All of these different talents that are there across the board at different skill positions. Edward Coleman. I mean, when you've got a pitch and catch combo like what you've got at Calvary Day with Blackshear and pairing him up with Edward Coleman, I mean, yeah, people are going to be gravitating towards you. So, no, I completely understand why folks are staring at what's going on the coast, because when you have talented individuals, folks want to see what you got. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what they got when it comes to Calvary Day and Savannah Christian, two of the top teams that could be chasing after that new 8th championship come the middle of December. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be exciting. And, everybody in the Savannah area, Calvary's not playing Christian,
but you never know. It could happen in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, so it could be pretty interesting. All right, plug all your stuff that you got going on here, where you're taking your boxed lunch and your bag lunch, and you're bringing dry clothes with you. Tell us, everybody, what you're doing this year as far as football season, where they can get the information, more information about Georgia high school football from you.
gpb.org, and the GPB Sports app for when you are at your own game with your team on a football Friday night or a Thursday or a Saturday. Look, if you've got your team on a Thursday or a Saturday, you can watch us on a Friday night. We start with week 0. We start with Buford and Milton, 2 of the top-ranked teams in the state, regardless of classification. That's going to be our leadoff game this year. That's going to be on Friday. It's going to be the return of everybody. It's going to be Matt Stewart, Wayne Gandy, Hannah Gooden, and myself. We're going to be on site, and it's going to be the beginning of a great schedule for us over the air. Once again, be a part of all of the conversation that we have on all of the social media that we have, whether it's Instagram, whether it's the 280-character app. You can friend us on our YouTube channel, look at our old archive, all of those kinds of things. The Football Fridays in Georgia podcast, Hannah and I do that every week. It's usually out by, what's today? So it's usually out Tuesdays, like Tuesday late. And then you get to take the tour around the state. We catch up with coaches and storylines and all that kind of stuff there. So like and friend that and set your notifications for when the podcast is up. So podcast, web, over the air, social media, all of that stuff. And you got me right there on the 280-character app. And it's a Cute Sports Guy on the IG, the Gram, or the Insta, whatever the kids are saying these days, because when the boss says that's what you are, that's what your handle is. And looking forward to covering the state and sharing it with everybody this season. It's going to be real fun.
Hey, you have any Italian with you with all that hand movement that you're talking with?
Let's see. I got some Southern. I got a little Southern in me. So I got a little Southern in me. Let's see. Well, actually, I'm half Scandinavian, half Scottish in my family tree. So, I'm always been expressive with my hands. So traditionally, that's why when I'm on the air, we'll break the fourth wall here for a second. Traditionally, that's why I try and have something in my hand, like a microphone or something. So I'm not as expressive outside of the camera range when I'm doing things. So yeah, when I have a microphone, I mean, you see here, you put your microphone in your dominant hand. So that way the hand that you don't really do stuff with, you don't know what to do with it, and it's just going to stay close. So the microphone stays in the dominant hand, and the recessive hand holds your notes for you. So that's how it goes. But yeah, I've always been known to do this kind of stuff and all this and all this and all. Yeah. So it's expressiveness with me has never been a something that I've always been a petty flower hanging out on the wall, waiting for somebody to tap me on the shoulder to hit the dance floor. Never happened.
Well, John, it's been over 20 years we've been doing this, talking to each other, and you're carrying the torch as the voice of Georgia high school football for our friend, who I miss dearly, and I know you do, Tommy Palmer. So keep up the great work, and Hannah's doing a great job keeping you in place. That's all I got to say.
Exactly. It is Hannah's show, and I'm just kind of drafting off of Hannah. So no, it's thank you for those kind words. This is my 30th year at Georgia Public Broadcasting, covering everything. We've done championships since 1997. And we're looking forward to doing them for a lot longer. But, yeah, this is year number 30. So it's a triple X year for me at Georgia Public Broadcasting.
And do you remember how we met?
Yeah, it was in my tours and doing stories on Prep Sports Plus. And you were an AD and a coach at Islands. And that was part and parcel of the process over there when I was doing stories for our episodic programs and catching sound bites from you and making sure that everybody knew what was going on down there on the coast.
Hey, I was the coastal correspondent. So, but anyway, miss the Southern swing. You got to come down and see us and keep up the great work, and then enjoy Friday night, because you know what it is. It's time for some football.
Exactly, my friend. Be well, be safe. We'll catch up soon.
Appreciate it, buddy. I'll talk to you. Just a great guy. I mean, you want to talk to somebody that knows high school football in the state of Georgia. He also is a big soccer fanatic, and I didn't get into the soccer because we're playing American football, not football like they say everywhere else in the United States, but he knows what he's doing. He's got a good keen sense of what's happening from, let's go to Rome, Georgia, to Camden County, to Savannah, across to Bainbridge, you name it, he knows what's going on. So once again, the man himself, the voice of Georgia high school football, Jon Nelson.
Just love talking to that guy every year before high school football starts. Just knows what he's talking about. Love talking to him before we get into the playoffs. We talk about season number 1, season number 2, we let it go. Season number 3 in the playoffs, and that's when we get into what his thoughts were about how the year went. So, hey, 1 hour and 40 minutes, Lawrence. I know you're not here. You had to go somewhere, but it's been a lot of fun. Like I said, we will have a Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete Week return next week. It's just been a crazy week trying to get these kids in with school opening up and all that. But once again, appreciate you watching, whether it was for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Got to thank John Henderson, of course, Dell Henderson, for letting me do this every week since April of 2020. It's been a lot of fun. Continuously, doesn't stop. Yeah, there's breaks in there to visit family and do family things, but it's something I enjoy the most, and I appreciate everybody that watches. So, like I say every week, please say a prayer for this crazy world, for what's going on, what's happening, tropical storms, and everything else that's going on in our area, and of course the worldwide craziness. Just say a prayer for that we have peace, happiness, and everybody is well. Okay, whatever you're doing today or tomorrow, like I say every week, always hit it out of the park. And until I speak to you next week, or see you next week, or you see me next week, may it be your best week ever. God bless. Peace out. It's time for football. Tomorrow night, Pooler Stadium, New Hampstead taking on South Effingham to kick off football here in the Coastal Empire. That's all I got to say. Check out the PrepSportsReport.com. And please, let me get back to my little thing here. Help the old ball coach out. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and go check out PrepSportsReport.com. See ya. Whoops. I know. Got to press the right button.